Morning to you. It's Monday the 9th of April 2018 on a very dark, dreary day outside, boys and girls. Yes, the rain has been coming down all night, which means I had my window open last night. I love it. Pitter-patter, pitter-patter, pitter-patter on the window ledge outside. And directly underneath my bedroom on the side of the house, I've got this lean-to thing. It's quite old. Blimey, it must be about 30 years old. To be honest, it could do with replacing now, you know. A lot of the wood is starting to go a bit rotten. And believe it or not, I know you'll find this hard to believe, but me and my mate replaced the roof on it a few years ago with, it was the same as was before, corrugated plastic stuff, which is quite difficult to work with. When you're like drilling holes, or did we drill holes or not? No, I don't think we did. We banged nails in carefully. Now, when you buy this stuff new, the plastic is a little bit, not very, but a little bit pliable. So if you're careful and gently put that nail in, okay, it will go through the roof to hold it on. And you have to have a little bit of a rubber thing on as well so that the rain doesn't come through the hole. If you leave it a while, it becomes very brittle. And if you do that, the whole thing just breaks and falls to pieces, which is probably, because we did the roof, it must have been about 6 or 7 years ago, maybe a little bit longer than that, but we did the roof some time ago, and this stuff doesn't last forever. So if you was like to chuck a brick over there now or something like that, I think it might just smash. But I hear the rain coming down on that, and I love it, don't you? And if it wasn't windy last night, but when you got the wind here, I'm surrounded by tall pine trees out there, and I love the whistling of the wind in the trees outside. Where my sister lives in Lincolnshire, it's very flat. There aren't too many trees there. I mean, there is a forest nearby, but generally around the area, it's all farmland and all that. I love the smell of the farmland, don't you? I don't understand these people. They come from cities and towns, and they move to the countryside, don't they? Oh, I don't like the smell of that. Oh, I don't like the church bells ringing. Why did you bloody well move here then? You know, go somewhere else. Go and sit in your little flat. Go and sit in your little flat in blooming Vauxhall or something like that. We've got to close the door and lock it 10 times because of the dodgy people around there. Dear me. We must say hello to some of you watching on internet radio sites this morning. Good morning to you. And the reason I've posted this on there is because I do a music and chat show this morning at 10 o'clock. That's at reachonair.com, a music and chat show. And I thought, and this just came to me as I was wandering up the stairs here to Studio A1 of the United Kingdom Talk Television Complex, I thought to myself, perhaps you'd like to help me choose the music for my show this morning, which is on at 10. Huh? I thought that might be a good idea. Now, I'm going to play music from all time, old or new. So, if you've got any suggestions, I won't take them all. But if there's like hundreds and hundreds, obviously I can't play them all. But I thought if you'd like a request this morning, you could ask me now, and then in the 15 minutes or so that I'll give myself time to sort out the music and that, I'll put it into the system, and that's what I'll play between 10 and 11. Isn't that an excellent idea, don't you think? So you see, these ideas can come to you at the last moment. You can sit here with all this preparation, hundreds of stories on there, and then you sit there, and that clock's counting down, you know, my 5-minute countdown, and then at 10 seconds, suddenly an idea will gush. I like that word, gush. Do you like that word, gush? An idea will gush into my head. So that's at 10 o'clock, reachonair.com. The question I have for you this morning is, what music would you like me to play this morning? If you have a request, please post it up here and I shall look at it and possibly put it into the system. All right? First message of the morning goes to the delightful Shania Steele. Good morning, Shania. Hope you're well today. Did you hear me talking about my church yesterday? Father David is doing some wonderful sermons at the moment. We're all in tears. We're all in tears. Did you hear the rosary story yesterday, Shania? I don't know if you did or not, my darling. Good morning to Kevin Bell. Diane Jebb's there on Facebook. Good morning to Norman. Norman Nyazi. I think it is. You must be watching on one of the Learn English websites. So good morning to you. Good morning to the lovely Colin. Hello, Colin. Not heard at all from the city of Quebec, unfortunately. So I'm assuming they're going to want to stick with what they've got there already, which is a little bit disappointing. But there you go. That's one of those things. So we wish them good luck. I hope that's going all right now. A place I used to work at, the city of Quebec, which is Marble Arch. And it was a wonderful place, and I've met so many friends there. I was only there a short time before it was refurbished, and a new manageress moved in. Now, what was her name? Mona, and she just completely decimated the place. Very, very unpopular person. I never understand how they can put unpopular people on the front line. Now, I never met her, but from what I hear from other people, she was really unpopular. Anyway, she's gone. The old bag has gone, and they've replaced her by a sort of younger chap who's trying to put it or bring it back into favour again. But a lot of the older people left, you see, and they would have found somewhere else to go. I did put my name in there if I wanted to do the karaoke, but then I found out that they already had one there, so I don't think that's going to happen. But it was worth a try. All right, Colin, so hopefully they'll sort that out there. Kevin, why do I come to this? I don't fit in. Well, you must fit in. If you're there, you must think you fit in somewhere. You know, why do you think you don't fit in? Good morning to the lovely Evan. Oh, you won't be able to see much with your telescopes this morning, will you? We're covered in cloud here. Covered in cloud. Haven't you got? Do they have radio telescopes where you can actually see through the clouds? Evan has an observatory. He's watching you. He probably knows more about you than Facebook. I don't know what all that's about. All that Facebook moaning and people, they've got our information. Well, what do you think they're going to do with that? What are they going to do with that? They're going to try and sell you stuff. You will only be affected if you buy something that they're advertising. I must say the adverts on the internet are getting on my nerves, especially when you're trying to read a newspaper article and you go, and then suddenly this advert, it doesn't flash up in the corner, it flashes across the whole newspaper. And that X, you know, the X isn't always in the same place, is it? There's a couple of adverts that flash up on my iPhone when I'm doing stuff on the iPhone, and this advert will flash up completely covering what you're trying to read. And the X is sometimes in a different place. You know, is it the top right corner, the left, the bottom, the left? Oh, dear. Gets on my nerves. Good morning to Jerry Millen. Good morning, Jerry. Ants. Good morning, Ants, who was at Central Station on Saturday. We had a fantastic show Saturday with drag queen Miss Penny, who is just so good. Such a professional. She turns up on time. She knows what she's doing. She was really good, weren't she? From Birmingham. That was the only problem, you see. She was from Birmingham. So a lot of us had no idea what she was trying to say. You know. I did try and install software into one of the television sets on the wall to decipher whatever she was saying. I mean, I'm sure the whole show was very, very funny. We just couldn't understand a word she was saying with that Birmingham accent. But never mind, darling. She probably went to that big silver Selfridges. Is it Selfridges? That awful silver building in the middle of Birmingham. It is Selfridges, isn't it? Ghastly place. Nice shop. Horrible building. Whoever designed that? Dreadful. Morning, Gavin Bass. Morning to Ilas. Morning, Ilas. Welcome to you. Mark Weech says, they move to the country. They move to the country. Yeah, they do. Townies and city people, they move to the country and then they complain. Oh, it's really quiet. Oh, I know two people that. They moved to a beautiful place in Cornwall. Beautiful place. They had to move back 6 months later. Nothing to do. Bored. We've got nothing to do. Well, what did you think they were going to do? These people, they move somewhere because it's quieter. And then they move back again because it's too quiet. Huh? I got to say, I like peace and quiet during the daytime. My problem is at night. My problem is at night because I'm used to going out and working every night. When I was talking to Ray Reynolds on the phone, I don't know if Ray's with us this morning. I was talking to Ray Reynolds on the phone yesterday afternoon. And I said, the problem I have is because I've worked every night for so many years, now that I have 3 nights off a week, I just don't know what to do with myself. It's awful. I've got plenty to do during the day. There is not enough hours during the daytime. Then I have my sleep, you see. Then I have a couple of hours sleep, like a siesta. I should have been Spanish. I should, hola, 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 ole, ole. I know all the Spanish words, all of them, all of them. So I have a siesta for 2 hours every day. I've done this for, my God, 18, 28, 38, but over 30 years I've had a siesta, okay? Then I get up and I should get ready for work, then drive to work, do my job, come home at about 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. Well, on 3 nights a week, I don't do that. So I go to bed, then I get up, don't know what to do. It's all very well you say, oh, well, you could come upstairs and do a show. Yes, I could, but I'm not actually leaving the house, am I? See what I mean? And I don't know what to do with myself. Last night, I walked up to my mate's house. You know, didn't really want to go and see his ugly face for longer than I had to. But him and his boyfriend, they were sitting there and we sat there and watched the telly. Oh, I don't know, dear. So people that move to the country, oh, it's too quiet. Well, if I could just get used to having these nights off and, I don't know, sitting at home and watching the telly for like 7 hours. I know most of you probably do that and you're quite happy doing that. I can't do it. Can't do it. Good morning to Russ, Philip Vernon. Morning, Russ. Shania's there. She did hear the story. Good. Wasn't it a lovely story that was? Sermons. Perhaps I should secretly record one of the Father David. Thank you. Kevin Bell doesn't feel well. Well, I hope you get better soon, Kevin. Have some pills. Have a couple of pills. That'll sort you out. Oh, don't let me forget to take my 10 o'clock pill. When I finish this show, can someone please remind me to go downstairs and take my pills before I do the music and chat show at 10 o'clock, okay? Good morning to Laura. Do you know if Willy Wonka is Cockney rhyme for plonker? Says Laura. I don't know, Laura. Don't know. Anyone else know that? Laura wants to know. Lovely Laura. Is Willy Wonka Cockney rhyme for plonker? It sounds right. I've got to be honest. I think it sounds right, Laura. Morning to Diane. Buds, good morning, Diane. Wayne Martin's there. Who wants to practice by WhatsApp? No, thank you. Good morning to Robbie Stedman. Morning. Very well, Robbie. We haven't had any requests yet. Can we have some requests for music, please? For the music and chat show at 10 o'clock on reachonair.com. Over on YouTube, good morning to Paul Mosley. Joanna. Morning, Joanna. You two were very, very quick this morning with your messages in, I must say. Christ, I just pressed start streaming and bang, you were there quickly. Had you already booked your message in? Paul says, what's wrong with us Brummies? Nothing at all. Nothing at all. We just don't understand what you say. In fact, I'm even having trouble understanding what you're writing this morning. Even your writing seems to have a strange accent to it. Paul does agree that Selfridges looks like a pile of awful rubbish. It does. It's awful, awful. Chain reaction. That's a good one, Wayne. Chain reaction. We'll have that one. Chain reaction. Any other requests for the music and chat show at 10 o'clock, please? Get them in now. All right? So yesterday, after I finished talking to you, Ronnie came round, as indeed he said he would. Oh, Kylie Minogue. Okay. Kylie. Let's put Kylie down. I might do the new one. Is it Dancing? I quite like that new song by Kylie, Dancing. She was on the telly last night. Well, let me just tell you what I did yesterday. So Ronnie came round. I did in some chips yesterday afternoon. Then we watched Dynasty, this week's episode of Dynasty. We love Dynasty on Netflix. It's just so bad it's funny. The star of that programme is definitely Fallon. She is just such a bitch. It's unbelievable. We love it. We absolutely love Fallon in Dynasty. There's 2 gay characters. One who can act. That's Sammy Joe. He's drop dead gorgeous. But he does wear some very odd clothes. I have to say, some really strange shirts he wears. He is gorgeous. And I would happily be his other half. But Stephen, who is Blake's son, not a very good actor. He's a bit wishy-washy. He's not very good. The worst actor in there is Fallon's best friend, who's a tall, thin girl with frizzy hair. She just cannot act at all. And she's got one of those walks where she swings her hips from side to side. Yeah, my mate walks like that, Ronnie. He walks a little bit like that, swinging his hips from side to side. So we watched Dynasty. Then we watched this week's episode of Benidorm, which was hilarious as always. The Italian girl who has become the girlfriend of one of the boys in there, her dad turns up and he's clearly something to do with the mafia. So they're all a little bit worried about what's happening. Anyway, at the end of the show, the dad comes to Benidorm and takes his daughter away from Benidorm. And it looks like the boy, what's his name? Is it Robbie? Might be Robbie, isn't going to see her again. And it's all very tearful and very, very exciting. I love it. I love Benidorm. Then I had my little sleep. Then I walked over to Ronnie's, as I said last night. I didn't know what to do myself, so I walked over to Ronnie's. And we watched this programme, When the News Goes Wrong. Channel 5 thing. They do a lot of these when something goes wrong. Oh, Paul wants Oasis. Paul. Oh, I better write your names down as well, hasn't I? Hang on. Wayne Redding. Paul in Birmingham. It was Paul, wasn't it? Hang on. Paul in Birmingham. I can do Oasis. Have I got Oasis? I must have Oasis on there. Where's the other one? Let me see. Robbie. Robbie, where are you, Robbie? Whereabouts are you? Are you in London? Robbie Stedman. Let me write these down to sort these out earlier. By the way, you'll notice the show was a little bit earlier today. It will be on Monday, okay? This will be a little bit earlier on Monday, so it allows me to fit everything else in. So there's some requests. Keep your requests coming in for the Music and Chat show between 10 and 11 o'clock. reachonair.com. All right. Yes, Channel 5 do a lot of these programmes when animals go wrong, when cars go wrong. Last night, when news goes wrong, and it was about news programmes on the telly and things that go wrong. There was a lot of old faces on there doing little interviews. You may have, I don't know if you saw it last night, but Judith Spires was there. Do you remember Judith Spires from Pebble Mill at 1? That was from Birmingham. Pebble Mill at 1. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Who remembers Pebble Mill at 1? 1970s, possibly early 80s. Oh, we used to love that. I used to love that when I was off from school sick. Although a lot of the time not sick. I don't feel well today, Mum. I've got a sore throat. Can I stay at home? Oh, are you sure you... Oh, but I can't hear you, Mum. My ears are all stuffed up. Oh, thanks, Mum. I'll be straight down. I get up as usual for school, and I go and sit in front of the telly and watch all the schools programmes and all that. I used to love schools programmes on the telly. We never used to watch them at school. You know, it's the weirdest thing ever. In the 1970s, BBC One and ITV had schools programmes between 9:30 and 12 o'clock. Every morning. I don't know any school children or any of my friends that watched schools programmes at school. Do you? I mean, we all seem to have this blooming television in the corner. Do you remember the telly in the corner at school? It was on a stand and it had doors. Do you remember that? Did you have one? And this telly was supposed to be wheeled in and placed in front of the class, and then we'd watch a programme for schools. But we never did. I don't remember ever watching a single programme for schools and colleges. But when you were off from school, I used to sit there watching all these wonderful programmes. And the little diamonds, you know that diamond you see at the very beginning of the show, the countdown, that is from BBC Schools. Someone recreated that. Isn't it clever? And that used to come on to tell you had 2 minutes left. It was doing all its stuff, and then the schools programmes would start. Watch. I remember Watch, and what else? Time and Tune. That might have been a radio thing. I remember having Time and Tune from Radio 4 on. Radio 4 VHF for schools. But they used to have that on in the hall. And then we'd all be prancing around and dancing and singing in the hall. And singing together. That was another one. On the radio. But we never watched these schools programmes. But anyway, on a day off, I'd watch all these schools programmes. Then we'd have the news. And then there would be Pebble Mill at 1. With one of the people was Judith Spires. And she was on this programme last night. Oh, she looks old, dear. Oh, she looks old. But still wonderful. We love it. So I watched that. Who else was on there? There was Francis Wilson. You remember him who did BBC Breakfast Time Weather? He was a bit gay. Well, I don't think he is gay, is he? He's just a bit puffy. There is a difference between being puffy and gay. Gay means you like blokes or women of the same sex. Puffy means you're, a little bit camp, You know, I am, of course, just gay. I'm not camp in any way or puffy in any way, shape or form, as you well know. I think I'm possibly the biggest male straight acting person that has ever been in Bracknell, where I am. I think that is correct. Definitely the case. So they were on it. And then we saw Frank Boff. Frank Boff was on there. How blooming marvellous. Now, he wasn't being interviewed within that programme. They were showing clips of him, I think, on Nationwide. Do you remember Nationwide? Which ran from 68 to 83, I think it was. Oh, that was a great programme, that was. And it did some serious, some comedy. A really, really good programme. So much better than the very also serious News at 6 or London Tonight. Do you ever watch that London Tonight on... what's the BBC one? The regional sort of news magazine shows. And none of them have ever been as good as Nationwide. Nationwide was replaced by a programme called 60 Minutes, which I think lasted months. It was dire. It was absolutely dire. Nationwide was great. And Frank Boff, I think Michael Barrett was the main presenter. In America, you'd call him an anchor, wouldn't you? He was like the main presenter. And then later on, one of the main presenters was Frank Boff. And there he was. And Frank Boff was a huge television person in the 1970s. He did Grandstand. Yes. Something like that. But he was great. We loved Frank. Everyone loved Frank Boff. And then all of a sudden, he disappeared from the telly and he'd been caught doing drugs and doing things with whips. But we, as a viewer, we weren't interested in all that. We just liked him on the telly. And I don't understand why they ever took them off there. It was very, very disappointing. We used to like that. We really did. So that was that. Let's have a look here. One moment, please. We got some more requests coming here. Just a moment, please. Oh, blimey, there's a load here, isn't there? Shall I finish the story first? Yeah, I'll finish the story. So there was Frank Boff on there, and there was a young Eamon Holmes. And I said to Ronnie, I said, who's that there? He said, that's Eamon Holmes. And I said, that's not. It was an old ITV breakfast thing he was on. And there he was. Because I think Eamon Holmes is fantastic. He is one of the best things on the telly. But he works so much. How on earth does he find the amount of hours in the day to do what he does? This morning he was on ITV breakfast, obviously filling in for that Mr. Nobody, Ben Shepherd. No personality whatsoever. Oh, hello, my name's Ben Shepherd, and I've got this fake smile on me that I like to do all the time. He is just awful, Ben Shepherd. But this morning, Eamon Holmes was on it. I like Eamon Holmes. But he's on there, right? I happen to know tonight he'll be on Talk Radio at 4 o'clock doing the drive time show. So that's at least, so if he was on the telly this morning, so I don't know what time he would have started. 6 o'clock this morning? Does it start at 6? So he must have got up for 6. He must have got up at the latest, I would say, 3:30 in the morning. And he'd be on the radio. Does he do something in the afternoon as well? I mean, he does something in the afternoon, doesn't he? So he'll be on again then. And again tonight between 4 and 7 on Talk Radio. I mean, when does the man sleep? And he's so natural and so damn good at it. He really is. So it was nice to see Eamon Holmes, all looking a bit younger, I must say. So he was on it as well. And my favourite, and it was the programme was about when news stories goes wrong. And my favourite was when there was a reporter and lemurs were attacking him. They're kind of like a cross between a cat and a monkey, a lemur. Not a llama, a lemur. And this bloke's trying to do this advert. Sorry, trying to do this chatting in the microphone. And all these lemurs are jumping on him and start biting him and pulling at his hair and things like. It was hilarious. He was getting ever so upset. So if you want to see that one, probably on one of those catch-up things, it's called When News Goes Wrong on Channel 5. Okay, When News Goes Wrong on Channel 5. Right, let's have a look here. Paul says, wasn't Frank Boff into his bondage? Yes, that's what I said, the whipping. He was into the whipping, dear, and drugs. It was, I never forget, it was in the paper, and we never saw him again. That was it. He went off the telly and he never returned again. Isn't that funny? And he was a really good television person. We don't, do we? We don't care what people do in their private lives. We're not interested. We're not interested if they've just got divorced or something like that. We just like to see them on the telly. And Frank Boff was one of my heroes on the telly. Now, I'm not a sports person, but I could quite happily sit there and hear him reeling off the football scores or something like that. I thought he was an excellent television presenter. Really good, and I miss him on the telly. He must be into his 80s now, I would guess. Andrew says 60 Minutes must have been a British take on the US one. I don't know about US telly, really. Andrew enjoyed the karaoke on Friday on the stream. Thank you, Andrew. Who's surprised this morning, whatever it's called, hasn't been scrapped and replaced with scheduled recorded TV programmes. Oh, I'm sure that'll happen at some point. I mean, they get a bit rude on there now, don't they, this morning? I'm not keen on rude stuff. Certainly not on the telly first thing in the morning. Let's pop over here just a second now. Oh, there's quite a few little messages coming back up there. Dinos, Kylie. Laura sorted debates about it yesterday. Good. Excellent, my love. Robbie, great song, Dancing. Is that the one we're going to do? Kylie, Dancing for you a little bit later on. Hello to Sarah and Phoebe. Good morning, Sarah and Phoebe. I hope you're doing well this morning. Adrian Richardson, Robert in Eastbourne. I did a little night in Eastbourne for a while, Robbie. The venue was on 2 floors, and it was opposite a car park. So you had the sea, a car park across the road, and there was a venue. Can't remember what it was called now. It's a long time ago. It must be about at least 10 years ago now. Good morning to Turaye. I think that's how you say it. Turayar. Good morning to you, sir. One from Kevin. You make me feel like dancing. Kevin. I can't remember. Are you New York, Kevin? You make me feel like dancing. Okay, that's another one there. Morning to the lovely Luke Taylor. Is that a real flamingo? Well, I mean, does it look like a real flamingo? It's not dead, is it, dear? It's not moving, I mean. No, it's not a real flamingo. How can that be a real flamingo? It's not even moving, dear. Wouldn't you thought it would have pecked me a couple of times if it was a real flamingo? No, it's metal. This is my sister's birthday present from me. Nice, isn't it? My sister bought that for me for my birthday. I think she's got a very strange sense of humour. I've got to be honest, I didn't like it at first. I said to her, what's that? She said, don't you like it? Well, I don't know, but I've grown to like it. It's metal, look. You want one, don't you? The pink flamingos are very, very popular at the moment. My mate saw this the other day and he wants one now. He's trying to order himself a pink flamingo. I don't know if it could go outside. If I put that outside, it might start going rusty, mightn't it? I think that's what happened to me years ago. I went outside for too long and I went rusty. Hello, Kathy. I'm too old to have a TV at school. We didn't have one at home, just a wireless. Oh, Kathy, I love you. No TV at school, God. I think they were black and white, if I remember rightly. It was a black and white set on a pole and it was like in a cupboard and it had doors on it. And I wanted one of these tellies. I really wanted one of these tellies. I wonder if you can do it. Thank you, Russ. Have a good day, Sue. Let's have a look. Gary Glitter. What, you want Gary Glitter? I don't think we should be playing him somehow. He was a pedo, wasn't he? He was a pedo. He got put in prison for that. Was it Venezuela or somewhere like that? He used to go, I think he went to Venezuela or something, and didn't he marry a 14-year-old girl? You see? Oh, God, no, we're not playing him. Morning, Heidi. Just finished listening to yesterday's phone line, please. Just finished listening to yesterday's show phone line, please. What, the phone calls that were on there yesterday? Yes. Yes, we opened the phone lines yesterday, didn't we? That's right. That's quite right, darling. Yar said, this is the second time I wished I liked live stream, but I don't understand anything. That's all right. As you learn English, you'll understand more, my friend. That's the whole idea. The best way to learn English is to just keep listening to it and watching it, and in the end, that's it. By the way, I'm saying things to get your attention. Oh, Kevin, just a minute. It's a bit much, really. There we go. Right. One second, my darlings. I'll be with you in a second. Let's just bring that back up there. And mute that. Oh, hang on. I can hear myself now. How awful. That right. Good. There we go. Now, I've probably mucked up the messaging system now. There we go. Thank you very much. Da da. There we are. Luke says, no. Is it part of your wallpaper? No, darling. Look. Look. It's a separate flamingo. And you put it together yourself. The legs and the bum come out. Look, I'm going to show you a flamingo's bum. Possibly up, but now be barred from Facebook for showing you a flamingo's bum. You know what they're like, dear. That's it. Do you like it? Do you want to buy one for yourself? Flamingos are here. All right. Jerry Lee Lewis. Did you want Jerry Lee Lewis as well this morning? Do you want Jerry Lee Lewis? I'll write down Jerry Lee Lewis for Ben. Jerry Lee Lewis. God, is that the time already? Right. I'm only here for another 5 minutes then, boys and girls, because I've got to sort out my music for the Music and Chat show a little bit later. Good morning to Joss in Australia. Morning, Joss, to you. I think I've mucked up the messaging there somehow. Paul says, if you want to learn English, come to Birmingham. No, don't learn Birmingham English. You won't understand anything. You won't understand anything. Andrew says, I remember those big TVs on a huge stand. The TV was in a box with doors on the front. You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. And I wanted one of those tellies. Good morning, Ray Reynolds. We were talking about you earlier. Oh, Jerry Lee Lewis married a 13, 14-year-old as well. Why do people keep putting asterisks? Every time people put asterisks all the time. You must remember, when I say something and you type something, 15 seconds has passed before it gets back to me. So often I've forgotten already. No brain, dear. No brain at all. In the papers this morning, there's some very interesting stuff about why you should never get divorced. This is in the Daily Mail, the sort of women's female section. And it says, Helen Ward, a lawyer who has handled the breakup of a string of celebrities, from Guy Ritchie and his split from Madonna, get into the groove, to Bernie Ecclestone, the Formula One tycoon, has an iron rule about divorce. Don't do it unless you absolutely have to, she says. People going through difficulty in their relationships need to explore whether their love really has died and their marriage is really over. I think with a lot of these celebrities, dear, who get married, certainly people like in Love Island and The Only Way is Essex, I don't think they're marrying for love. I certainly don't think... Who's that old baggage who keeps having her face done? What's her name? Not Katie Hopkins. Katie Price. Well, she just does it to be in the magazines. That's it. It's just like a money-making act. They're not marrying for love. No wonder it doesn't last. You know, I could have married any one of hundreds of people by now, but I wouldn't have loved them. You've got to love them first, dear. Got to love them first. It says divorce carries a health warning, and I think everybody ought to think about this long and hard before they do it. She may not recommend it, but Ward, a commanding presence in her navy blue skirt and suit jacket, I don't know what that's got to do with it, has made a huge success out of divorce. Look at this. She's been with a partner with Stewart's for 5 years, and before that, and a partner for 18 years, where she looked after the divorce of Andrew Lloyd Webber and Sarah Brightman. The Phantom of the Opera is there inside your mind. In the 50s and the 60s, the doyency of the divorce courts was Blanche Lucas, who was tall and glamorous. I mean, it's going to cost you a fortune. Sandra, who handled the breakup of footballer Thierry Henry from his wife Claire, and Jerry Hall in her split from Mick Jagger, is head of the family department and has worked in family law for more than 30 years. She charges £650 an hour to get divorced. Never a good idea to get married. I mean, I think a lot of the time this is why people don't get married anymore. You know, cost you an arm and a leg to get divorced. And all that mess, dear. If you're not happy with someone, then I do not think you should stay together with someone. Some people you should stay together. If you've got children, you should stay together for the children. Or what? So the children you're going to stay together with them? And you're going to row in front of them? And you're going to fight in front of the children? No, that is not what you should do. Get rid of them, dear. Break off. Be done with it. There's no point in staying with someone if you don't love them. You did all that row and that hassle, you know, and something, you know, I'm on my own. And sometimes I go out to the supermarket or out to the shops and you hear these couples rowing. And let me tell you, the mouths on some of those women, dear. My mother would never have spoken like that. Certainly not in public. Or my nan. But some of these young women, my God, the mouths on them, dear. F this and F that. And talking to the children like that as well. Ghastly people. Ghastly people. Ray Reynolds says, I've been tuning into 192 Dutch satellite oldest TV channel. Right. Is there any more to that? No. Okay. Good morning, sir. Are you telling us what programmes you've watched? No, there's nothing else there, is there? Okay. Good morning to Ondare James. Good morning, Ondare. Welcome to you as well, sir. Right, we must do today's birthdays, and then I've got to get ready for my music and chat show. Thank you very much for your requests, which I have now logged into the system, boys and girls, and I shall be doing that later. By the way, later on today, a very, very good friend of mine is going to be on the telly. This is him, Paul. Okay, his name's Paul. And he's going to be on the telly tonight in a thing on BBC Two at 9 o'clock about secret agent selection. It's all about in 1940 with most of Europe occupied by the Nazis and Hitler's armed forces only 20 miles from Britain. Prime Minister Winston Churchill ordered the creation of special operations, and it's all about that. And my friend's in that today. That's him there. He's also made it into the Sun. Look at that. He's made it into the Sun TV, what do you call it? TV listings thing. How exciting is that? So good luck, Paul, tonight. That's on at 9 o'clock tonight. Of course, if you come into the karaoke, you'll have to record that on your little recording player, or watch it on the BBC iPlayer a little bit later on, okay? Only 2 birthdays today. Martin Diver today is 51 years old today. Good morning, Martin. Happy birthday to you. And Paul Martin, who used to come into Central Station. I haven't seen him for a while, so I hope you're well, Paul. Today is 54 years old today. Happy birthday, Paul. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Martin and Paul. Happy birthday to you. All right. Happy birthday to you too. As I say, tonight it's karaoke. Who's coming along to the karaoke tonight to sing us a song or two? Please feel free to do so. There it is. Karaoke tonight is at Central Station in Wharfdale Road, King's Cross. Starts at 8 o'clock and finishes at 11:30 tonight. We've got cheap drinks as well. So that's karaoke tonight at Central Station, Wharfdale Road, King's Cross, starting at 8 o'clock and finishing at 11:30. Come along, either sing us a song or just sit there and watch our wonderful people who come and sing. Ray Reynolds turns up usually with his ukulele. Then that's where you should be as well, okay? So do enjoy that, boys and girls. That's it today then. Thank you very much. Do watch Paul on the telly as well tonight at 9 o'clock. I shall now prepare for my little music and chat show. You can watch, only listen. 10 o'clock, reachonair.com. 10 o'clock, reachonair.com. And I'll see you there. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.